Hello, everyone. I want to welcome each and every one of you to the fall 2023 semester. My name is Thomas Martin. I will be your instructor all the way through the semester, starting on August the 15th and ending, I think, on December 12th. What I want to do today is one, give you a basic introduction of what you'll be seeing online. Now, I'm going through my screen, so you will actually see a little more what you would normally see through the student view. But when I click on the assignments and I click on the different tabs, you should see the same thing pop up as far as the basic information or any assignments that are open or going to open. So let's begin with the announcements. First thing I want to do is apologize for posting 10,000 announcements on day one. It's a lot of information. I would advise you just scan through it. Some of it will answer questions you may have down the road or questions you have in the next 30 minutes, but it's there. Also, you will see the student acknowledgement form there. Once you have read through the syllabus, you understand it, I want you to complete the student acknowledgement form. Any information that you think is important for me to know as far as you being successful in this class, write it down. And then I want it emailed back to me to the Johnston CC, TC Martin at johnstoncc.edu. And when you prepare it to send, if you've got any comments in there, in the header, put plus comments. That way I make sure I go through and I read everything. Okay? Now, let's go to the very beginning. You see the tabs on the left-hand side. You have your announcements, and you have the syllabus. The syllabus is here. Let me bring it up so you can see it. This is what it looks like. Increase the size. This is one of my online classes. In fact, the class that I'm in right now is section I01, but all of them are the same. And if you can navigate through I01, section 01 would be easy as well, because everybody's seeing the same material and they're testing on the same material. Credit contact hours, we're going to meet 3 hours a week. This is a full online class if you're in the I01, I02, I03, I04. The last day to drop without penalty is October 30th, 2023. If you have a 15 average on the October 29th, the likelihood you're going to bring that up to a passing score is very poor. So if you're having problems, I want to know before October 29th. If you need assistance, I want to know it before October 29th. In fact, I want to know it before September 1st. Because each chapter somewhat builds on the other, and the knowledge you acquire from one to the next will help you down the road as we go from chapter to chapter. The main concern I have, if you just walk away, then I have no alternative but to drop you. If you're really in trouble, and after you talk to me, we determine that the best option is to withdraw. We need to do it before October 30th. Okay? You know, my name's Thomas Martin. I'm in the STEAM building, B111B. If you want to drop in and see me at JCC, the best time is Tuesday and Thursday from 12:30 to 1:45. There's my email address. I have my cell phone number in both of the slots here. If it's an emergency and you need to contact me, you can send me a text to 919-631-6052. The only thing I ask is that when you send the text, include your name and your class and section number. Well, I'm only teaching micro this semester, so all I need is your section number. So if you're section I01, I02, I03, I04, O1, O2, O3, that's all I need. That way, if you're having issues with a grade or with an assignment that's not working, I can go directly to the class that you're in and see what your problem is. And we'll talk about how to deal with problems in a little while. The course introduces economic analysis of individuals, business, and industry and market economy. This is the same course description that is in the catalog. It's the same course description you will see at any university dealing with this class. This class is transferable. ManQ is one of the most popular textbooks out there. State was using it. I think they've changed now, but they're still in the same area, covering the same materials. And they have approved my class for transfer to NC State. And if State will take it, all the rest will as well. I've had no problems or any feedback that any institution in North Carolina or outside has declined to take it. I have sent my syllabi to some of the out-of-state institutions, and once I sent it, they approved the credits. Format, this is 100% online. So if you're in my I01, I02, I03, I04, this is 100% online. The learning objectives, the role of economic study in the marketplace, the impact of price and commodity on the market efficiency, the role of consumers and business in domestic and international product markets, relationship between consumer and government, and the use of microeconomic theory and policy on current economic issues. That's where we got a policy analysis paper we'll be working on. It's not very long, but that's going to cover this last objective. Text is ManQ 9th edition. If you want a hard copy, I'm sure a hard copy can be found, because I think they just upgraded to 10, so 9 would be real cheap if you found a book. If you want a hard copy, otherwise you don't need it. You have the e-text and it's available to you, and we'll go through that as well. The evaluation methods. This is something I can't change. Now I can change the dates of things opening and closing, but I can't change the weights or the grading criteria. There are 3 tests. They account for 60% of your grade. They are timed, 120 minutes or 2 hours, 50 questions, multiple choice, true, false. You have 2 attempts on the test. The reason I allow that, and you get immediate feedback after your first attempt and after your second attempt. It'll explain to you where your weaknesses were, what you need to cover to prepare to retake. The reason I allow that to happen is you will never get the same test twice. I've got between 1,200 and 1,500 questions in a pool. There's also an algorithm that changes the orders and the numbers that are used in the problems. So the likelihood of you getting the same question with the same numbers twice is highly unlikely. You're more likely to win the cash 5. Each student is responsible for the time and completion of all assignments. We talked about the tests. 3 of them, 60%, so 20% apiece. There's 20 homework assignments, and they're worth 1% apiece, so for a total of 20. It doesn't seem like much that one homework assignment is only 1%, but just realize if you miss all of the homeworks and you don't do them, you don't submit them, one, I'm probably going to contact you well ahead of September 1st to find out what's happening, because that's also how I deal with attendance. If you have to be doing work, productive work in the class to be counted present. So if you don't do the homeworks, you are not here. But by the end of the semester, if you miss 4 or 5 of them, that could be half a letter grade. And it's hard to get it back. The last portion of the grading is the policy analysis project. Week 5, you're going to submit a thesis and an outline on a policy that you want to analyze. It could be anything from inflation. Well, the Inflation Reduction Act is big, too big. You can pick components out of it. You can look at, some of the bills that are in the legislature of North Carolina right now, and some of the things they're wanting to fund in their budgets, and things that the governor vetoed that they want to override. You can write about anything, any policy. It could be federal, state, local. It could be Johnson County telling the parks and recs to cut the grass at 3/4 of an inch instead of ½ inch. What impact is that going to have? That's policy analysis. That's what the project is for. Now, week 5, you can submit your thesis and outline. Week 10, we're going to have a peer review that takes place in the discussion forum. This is for online classes. And lastly, week 13, you can submit your final paper for grading. Thesis and outline is worth 5%, peer review is 5%, final paper is 10%. There's a couple sites you can go to that have additional materials if you want to see it, dealing with microeconomics. One's the Khan Academy, the other is Crash Course Economics. Both of them are very useful tools. I want you to learn and understand economics and economic behavior. And if you get it, some of it, 70% from me and 20% from Khan and 10% from Crash Course, I'm fine. If you get 100% from me, that's fine. If there's going to be a lot of resources available to you, doesn't mean you have to utilize all of them. I'm not saying you have to use Khan or Crash Course Economics. I'm just saying they're available if you need them. If there's a certain situation or a problem that you're having issues with, go to them and see how they present it and how they solve it. Sometimes you just got to hear it from a different voice. Require 9 to 12 hours of work per week. That is probably it is a little heavy. I'd say normally just a homework weeks, you're probably looking 4 to 6 hours. It includes reading the chapters and so forth and doing some of the exercises and then doing the homework. You have to have basic computer skills and an internet connection. You got to turn off your pop-up blockers, because if the pop-up blockers are on, Cengage will not come up. And you have to have a college level reading and writing and math skills. There are some tutorials to help you with your math, but I think everybody should be okay. And you have to be able to use all modes of communication, emails, We may actually have some sessions, some discussion groups set up and collaborate. I'll be, say, online for 2 hours for the day, and I'll be there to answer anybody's questions. So you have to be able to utilize all those. On attendance policy, as I said, you must be showing me your work and that you're staying on task. Failure to complete the assignments is an absence. So if you don't complete the homework for week 1, it doesn't matter that you did all kinds of other stuff, you read everything. If you didn't do the homework, that's an absence. So let's make sure we keep on task with that, because the homework, I'll show you the assignment guide in a little bit, and there's no reason you shouldn't know when everything opens and closes. I have it available to you online, and all you have to do is look it up. 10%, if somebody don't show up for August 24th, if they don't enter the class until the 25th, I'll ask them to leave and I will remove them from the class. And here's the key statement here for attendance. In order to satisfy these requirements, students must demonstrate active weekly online attendance by submitting at least one academic assignment, and that's your homework. You miss 2 weeks of assignments, you will be dropped. But I'll contact you to see what's going on. But if I don't hear from you, I'm going to have to drop you. It doesn't mean I won't reinstate you, allow you to be reinstated. But I can't allow you to stay in the class and not do the work. Okay. There's a writing portal. There's a video there. There's a lot of resources at the JCC library. Just look it up. Go to the JCC Learning Center. They have tons of resources, especially for writing. But I'll show you some others as well. It talks about the alert system. I have the capacity to see how you're doing and what you're doing. If I see dramatic changes in your grades or your participation or so forth, I will contact you. See if I can find out what's going on. I want everybody to end up with an A, perfect attendance, but I know it's not going to happen. But I don't want anybody to just stop and then think that there's no way that I'm going to help them catch up and get the work done. I'm not here to punish you. I'm here to teach. If you have a concern with me, you can 98% of the time, just talk to me. We'll work it. We'll figure it out. If I offended you in some way, I'll apologize. I'm not too proud. If I say something wrong, but now if it's a difference of political opinion or whatever, that's different. But talk to me. If there's a problem, talk to me. If you don't think the resolution is acceptable, you can go to my boss, Dr. Angelina Knies. If you don't like her solution, you can go to her boss, Lisa Cooper. If you go to Lisa Cooper first, she's going to ask, have you talked to Dr. Angelina Knies? And if you say no, she's going to send you back down. She's going to ask you if you talk to me. If you say no, she's going to send you back to me. So this is a progression. It's not you pick which one you want to go to first. If for some reason you don't think you can talk to me about it, go to Dr. Angelina Knies. I have no problem with that. Now, she's probably going to, well, she will contact me. But I don't want you to be afraid. Okay? That's pretty much the syllabus. Here's some course information. One, there's me. Here you see my office number. My office location, hours, and all that good stuff. If I go back, there's general policies are here. Here's the assignment guide. If you select this, this is what will show up. This tells you when everything opens and closes in this class. Now, I can't change the weights of any of the assignments. But if I have to change the dates that they open and close, I can do that. Now, I'm not going to close something early just because I want to. I don't think I've ever closed anything early. Now, I can open stuff up early, like with test 3. If I think everybody's ready to start taking the test, I can open it anytime between 12:04 and 12:10. Or I could go to 11:27 to 12:03 to open it. So I do have flexibility there. But this tells you what chapters are in each week, and tells you the dates consistent week. Now there's 1 week, week 8. It actually includes the break. So it goes 10:2 to 10:15. There's only one chapter you'll be dealing with, that's chapter 10. Okay. Let me get out of that. The door schedule. Looks like this. In fact, I have to change it. I have to change it at home because my printer in my office is not working. The ink's gone. I'm going to redo it at home. I no longer have this Eco 25201, so I'll have office hours from 12:30 to 1:45 on Monday and Wednesday in lieu of the class. There's Collaborate. There's your discussion boards. Welcome to my world. That's a brief introduction of me. I don't know who you are. Now, you don't have to get into, we're not writing novels here. But who are you? Because especially when we start getting to peer review, I do want you to be comfortable interacting. So once people start introducing themselves into this discussion forum, feel free to comment and interact with the other students. There's a section for general questions. There will be areas for the program review. See, I'm going to exit this as a student view so you can see everything. All the discussion boards are already set up. All the dates are on, but they will open, like the thesis and outline. This will open up on September 11th. And that's where you'll post your thesis and outline. General questions are there. Peer review. Thank you will be where you submit your final papers. Here's what's available to you. Everything. I selected interactive book, video, problem walkthroughs, and graphs. Let's say I go to chapter 5. I can see video walkthroughs. Should a firm raise or lower its price to increase total revenue? It should show me a video.
This video, we're going to see how we can use information about the price elasticity to expand our operation to a second location. Curve the total revenue that's being.
See, they're going through explaining everything that I'm going to explain in my videos. So it gives you another source of information. You can use them any way you want. Just because there's these tools here doesn't mean you have to use them. It just means they're available to you. Some of them build graphs. Should take me to the graph page. Change to the graphs must have been just a header. Yeah. See, here you have interactive graphs that'll show you how everything works. So that's all in the interactive book, because the book is here. Look at chapter 1. It's your interactive book. Keys to success, how to do athlete assignments, basic calculating opportunity costs and marginal analysis. The next tab, these are zip files. They contain all the PowerPoints that are available for this textbook. The exhibits PowerPoint only covers graphs and tables, so it's going to be somewhat limited. I'm going to have to check that. It says it's an invalid file. I'll check that and make sure that's fixed. But in addition to that, I have all the lecture notes here as well for every chapter. So I'm going to give you tons of tools to help you succeed in this class. You use what you need. It doesn't mean you have to read every PowerPoint, or there's some things that you're going to grasp very quickly. Once you get those, start focusing on areas where there's a little confusion, and then allow me to help you get over that confusion. If you need to talk to me, just let me know. We'll figure it out. Let's see. This file is invalid. I'll fix that. Policy analysis documents. Here's the rubric for the policy analysis. Gives you information on the grading. Use a holistic grading process. I'm not your English instructor, and I'm not going to market like your English instructor. I'm looking that you understand economic theories and principles. Doesn't mean that poor grammar is acceptable. It doesn't mean that not formatting properly is acceptable, or not citing your sources is acceptable. But I'm looking at the whole paper, and I grade it accordingly. And then the bottom here, some of the criteria is the paper is only 750 to 1,250 words in length. So it's not that long. And here's my rubric for grading. You can see organization, support through documented sources, analysis, and grammar and punctuation. If you want 5 points, go to the poor area and give me a paper that the report has so many major and minor grammatical and punctuation errors that as they cannot be readily understood. I guarantee you, if like you get a grammar grade down there, the other ones are not going to be a whole lot better. Because if I can't understand it, we have a problem. And we'll go back and forth to this rubric. There's a couple of websites you can go to. The paper will be in MLA format. Purdue OWL has an excellent MLA area in their website, in their writing portals. To assist you, Coastal Carolina Writing Center, that's very good. But Johnson Community College Learning Resource Center is a very good source as well. They have a lot of materials there for you. And here are some examples of a thesis and outline. Now, if we look at this one, this is very detailed. And there's an error here because their last name should be in front of that number 1. But if you look at the level of detail of this thesis and outline, they're just about ready to write a paper. They just need to have complete sentences and transitions, and they're just about through with the paper. They still have to go through the process of it. And when you post your thesis and outline, I will discuss each and every one of them with you in the discussion forum. Don't tell me it kicked me out. Nope, still here. The textbook, 8th edition. So that's what we're dealing with as far as resource materials, etc. Last place I want to go is to the weekly assignments. You won't see this. That's only in my window. But if you're having issues with Cengage, go to the technical support and fill out a technical support form. And issue types, it could be anything from how do I do this, issue with my grades. Now, if you don't think it captured your grades, that's one thing. That's Cengage. If you don't think your grade was right, you need to talk to me first. If your assignment crashes and freezes, you're going to want to talk to me. You want to go to Cengage first. They're going to put a case number on it. They're going to notify me there's a case number, who it's from, and what it's doing. They also give me any results they find from it. Let's say you're taking the test and it keeps freezing and crashing, and you can't complete the test in that 2-hour period. Now, you still have a second attempt at the test, but you definitely want to contact Cengage and tell them a problem. That way they notify me. That way, if you need to get that attempt back, I will do it. So that's something you have to keep an eye on. Here is the assignment guide again. Same thing we saw before. I'll just give you a second place to see it. Let's look at week 1. This is where we're at now. Here's some little tutorial for exploring MindTap, some athlete assignments, some math refreshing exercises. But here's your homework. Here's the support materials for chapter 1. One is read the chapter. But here's the homework. I want you to see how the homework is set up. You get 3 attempts at every question. You can see the 3 individual boxes that you'll get it filled at every attempt. Here you have highest possible points is 1. The total number of points available is 16. So if you get a 16 out of 16, it's 100. So let's go understanding opportunity cost. I'm not even going to read it. I'm going to hit that and say grade it now. Well, of course, I got it wrong. But look down here. It goes through and explains to me why I was wrong and what I needed to do to get it right. So I can say try another version. Now I'm going to read it. So your assistant coach costing and you're $19 an hour. One night you decide to miss an optional 1-hour practice and go to a skating ring that costs you $15. So your opportunity cost is what you give up. Well, you gave up that 1 hour of work, which is $19, and you also gave up $15 for the ice ring. So your total opportunity cost is going to be $34. Now, if I hit grade it now, it should say that I am correct. If I hit continue, it's going to take me to the second question. And I can do exactly the same thing. I'll read it. I'll fill in the boxes. I grade it now and can go from there. If I go back to the assignment, you can see that the first attempt I got a 0, second I got 1. Once you have the full points, there's no need to go further unless you just want to practice, because it's going to take the highest of the 3. Okay? That's your homework. That's how it's presented to you. Now, I want to show you a test. Now, you won't be able to access this yet, but it's available to me. Okay, very first thing you need to know. Once you click this button, take test now, your 1 hour and 20 minutes clock begins. There's no pause button. You can't stop and come back. Well, you can stop and come back, but the clock is still running. You have 120 minutes or 2 hours to take the test. I'm going to say let's take it. You can see the questions. Cost of an action is measured in terms of foregone opportunities. Say true. Save it, and it'll take you to the next one. It'll take you to the next one. And you can just go through all of them and select different things. When you're through, you hit submit test for grading. And it says you only answered one question. So let's see if I made a 2. I made a 2. So at least I got one question right. That's how you deal with the test. Test 1, test 2, test 3 will all be the same. They'll be presented in the same way. That's about all I need to show you to get started. There's a couple things I need to fix. I need to write it down. I deal with the PowerPoint to see why that link isn't working. But other than that, I think we're good to go. We can get started. Take advantage of all the tools that are available to you. Make sure you complete the enrollment verification quiz, and let's enjoy the class. Have a good day.